Howdy. Welcome back to MCubed. We've got thoughts, afterthoughts, many a thought, lots of them, plenty of them. I ran out of adjectives. We've got a lot of thoughts and afterthoughts for Ahsoka episode 5. There's a lot to be said. I thought it was a really damn good episode. I thought it lacked a little bit in stakes, maybe, but
maybe
so much fun. I loved it. Do y'all have initial thoughts before we roll this intro?
I think there was a lot of storytelling. You're right. There weren't a lot of like high stakes, so to speak, as the original storyline of finding Ezra and Thrawn. But it's a lot of storytelling with Ahsoka, and let's dive right into it, man.
Yeah, man. Thoughts before we jump in, or jump in?
I think I've witnessed. We've witnessed a few times in the post Disney era, but this is one of the times we've gotten peak Star Wars.
100%.
I think that's a good intro.
Yeah, I agree. Can't say it better myself. Let's roll it.
So where should we start? Should we go Ahsoka, Anakin, roll between worlds, or should we go Hera and go light first? Or should we just jump into the thing?
We can hit any note we please. I think just the idea of Hera landing on the planet with Jason, and Jason senses something is awesome. And then we get into everything with Ahsoka and Anakin, where we eat as Star Wars fans. We are full after this. We may be wanting some dessert.
Definitely.
Yeah.
But we're satisfied still because we got to see some peak moments that I never thought we'd see, especially after everything we've been getting from Disney Star Wars. Dave needs to run everything. Please. He is the man. He is the man to run this. If it's not George, yes, because we get multiple things I've been wanting to see in live action for countless years.
Oh,
we had to see live action clones. We had to see live action Rex. We had to see Anakin in the Clone Wars armor.
In two different ways. Like, it was great.
Yeah. And then we get to see Anakin with a red lightsaber and his yellow Sith eyes. So this, I'm so satisfied with this episode.
I loved it. I loved it. I don't even know where my brain should start. Nick, just say something. Anything.
No, I completely agree with you, man. We finally get to see a properly de-aged Anakin, right?
Yes.
Good point.
Not only that, you get to see him with a live action Ahsoka, which is, it's what we all been asking for. And here's the thing. When we got the live action Siege of Mandalore, right? Yes. The Battle of Mandalore, I thought we were gonna see Maul.
We said the same thing.
I thought we were gonna see Maul, but Anakin showed up, and it was I enjoyed it nonetheless. But that was like a perfect moment to like bring him in.
Yeah, it was cool to see
Ariana Blatt as young Ahsoka.
Oh yeah. Just seeing young Gamora play young Ahsoka.
Young Gamora, new Barbie girl, and now she's Ahsoka. She's doing well for herself.
This is true. She's up and coming.
Not too shabby.
Yeah.
Do y'all want to see more young Ahsoka in live action? If like there was a way to do that,
I don't see why not just have a nice little mini series. Just have a Dave Filoni just rock like one of his main arcs of the Clone Wars, but do that in live action where you can have Ewan and Hayden and this actress play Ahsoka, have Rex, have Cody, Maul even.
Ventress.
There's always Ventress.
What about something like the uncompleted arcs, like Son of Dathomir, the Cad Bane arcs and stuff like that? Yes. There are complete arcs that just need to be satiated.
That need to be on live, live action. Yeah, exactly.
Por favor. Howdy, Sci-Fi Quest. Welcome. And welcome whoever else is here as well. I literally don't know where to start with this thing, y'all. Did we lose Brad and Shmook for a second?
Oh, I didn't even realize they were
possibly
frozen. They'll probably come back in a second.
Yeah.
Okay, well, let's touch up on the Hera and Jason and the Jason connection with the Force.
That was beautiful.
We're starting to see a lot more of that, which is great. We're starting to see a good arc with him coming.
All right, we're back.
Five.
We're back.
Hell yes. We're talking Jason in the Force real quick. Just how
Perfect.
that was just beautiful. That was cool. I love Hu Yang mentioning Kanan Jarrus in general.
Yes. Name drop.
Just it felt so Lucasy. The just hearing of the waves. You know, he didn't have to put some conch shell to his ears. You know, he's just using the freaking Force.
He felt it. Yeah. No, that was cool. I did like just a nice little conversation between Hera and Hu Yang. Just like she's like his master or her master, and she's like, what was he like? And he just goes intense, and I'm just like, that's true. I just went like,
I was like, what is he gonna say? What is he? Yeah, and it was perfect.
Yeah, right? No, that's a perfect way to describe Anakin Skywalker.
Yeah, either intensely good, intensely insane, intense.
We got some remarkable shots within this, though. Like, again, it's like seeing Anakin within the general armor, marching down with the clones behind him, just leading the way. And then, like, you see a flash of, like, him as Vader with the red lightsaber. Like, it just hit.
It was beautiful. I loved all the cinematography of the World Between Worlds, I guess. Just the transitions were all great, like the smoke transitions going from one part of the World Between Worlds to another, from I guess like falling off the bridge going down, and then all the ones transitioning just to different scenes were just perfect.
Right. No, I agree. I knew the second Anakin like took his lightsaber and like chopped the bridge, I knew we were about to see some crazy shit, and we did. We get to see Aiden in the Clone Wars armor. I mean, come on. We haven't really seen that except for in EA's Battlefront 2.
Yeah.
But what I love about this is that like they match how Anakin's haircut would be at this point in the timeline, as well as no scar yet. So it's just all those like fine little details.
Well,
that and then Ahsoka only had one lightsaber in that first little scene too.
Yep, right.
Second,
just the green. Yeah. And she mentions it's our first like battle together. So
on Ryloth, you see the Twi'leks in the back. I was like, just hoping Cham Syndulla popped up. I was like, come on. You know, Brad remembers Cham. I literally had a roommate in college named Cham.
Yeah. Oh my lord, yeah.
Cham Syndulla is one of my favorite characters because of it. You know,
dude, that's unlocked a memory I did not think I had.
You know, they come up every now and then. But damn, it was just so good. Siege of Mandalore was great. I just that little bit. The lightsabers. Did y'all like the battle scenes a lot or no?
Yes. Oh,
of course. Absolutely.
That was the peak.
That was the peak. Some of the best we've seen from Disney era.
My comment was that I just turned to him and was like, that when it reached the halfway point, like Ahsoka sinking into the water, like it on like a metaphysical, artistic level. We even said, like, as people that love episode 7, like that was more true to the actual Star Wars, you know, pre-Disney, like that they have ever reached, besides Rogue One probably. That was real Star Wars to me. That stands with like the Lucas stuff, and I'm like, that was next level.
This felt Lucasy as it could feel.
Yeah, as you said, it's Dave exactly, like Dave knows what he's truly honoring, where the films were just products. They weren't films. Besides episode 7, they truly weren't. So it had the essence, it had the soul.
Yeah, no, it felt soulful. You know, I'm from the dirty South. We need a little soul.
I make the same face after every episode when I see the ending and it says Dave Filoni. I'm like, you did it again, man. You did it again. You know exactly what you're doing. We talked about how she's going to get out of it right before, the last episode.
Yeah, we had all kinds of theories
between worlds, and I think he did a great job of getting there. That transition. So, to compliment what Brad was saying, yeah, that's great. It's a great transition.
Of course, our brains go to like overcomplicate it, like we were doing. Like, could she use it to like? Maybe she had the map on her hand and she walks between the worlds.
Yeah,
out in the other galaxy.
her
But,
hand
like,
got burned in the last episode. Maybe she could just read it, from her.
and I love
From
that kind
her
of stuff,
hands.
but it's not really sci-fi. It's a space fantasy, and it's so much more
Mhm.
like it felt Lucasy to just keep it simple and beautiful. And
Agreed.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Another-
They have to get too complicated.
Ahsoka now. Sorry, I don't want to interrupt, but Ahsoka now knows Jason's getting a lot more stronger, more sensitive with the Force because she's like, "I heard you fighting. Who are you fighting with?" And I'm like,
that was
"Is
great.
she gonna say anything?"
She's
Man,
definitely like, how did
he's
you
gonna.
know?
No, he's gonna start figuring things out and asking a lot more questions. So I think they're gonna have to make a decision whether or not to train him like his dad.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I saw that
Exactly.
comment and I thought that was 100% right because I as soon as you said that too, I think that should be, but that could be part of the arc, and maybe we got to trust like the storyline because I always thought that Sabine all of a sudden being on the Jedi thing, like that felt really like out of left field personally.
Yes.
And I was even on because there's been a competing sort of ideology of like the Lucas stuff where I felt that, the essence of a Jedi is like you need an inherent power, obviously, and you need like this training because it's about like earning stuff. And I feel like especially with Ryan Johnson, like he injects this idea that it's like, no, it's just everyone has this. It's like this. It's like a false like equality type of thing. When in reality, like George understands like the merit of like a warrior like society, and like I feel like this is getting at that because I think part of her arc that would be satisfying for Sabine is like, shouldn't she like come into her own as like perhaps it's similar to Din Djarin of like, is he Mandalorian? Is he not? Does she choose that identity? I don't know. I just felt that the Jedi thing didn't make sense for her. But with Jason, I feel like that would be so much more like in universe, like logical,
I agree with you, Brad. No, actually, I think they're doing the same thing they did with John Boyega, because they started mentioning that he was going to be Force sensitive at the end of 9, but they never mentioned that. And then you eventually see it in the later on, but you're starting at the end. You could have mentioned that she was Force sensitive sooner, especially in Rebels. How many seasons of Rebels do we have?
4.
Isn't it 4 or 5?
Somewhere in there. I'm just saying, towards the end of that, maybe. But so I don't know. I agree though, Brad. I feel like
I finished my rewatch of Rebels about 2 minutes before I started the Ahsoka episode tonight. So it was kind of like
nice.
Perfect. It was literally perfect. And they don't mention Sabine with the Force ever, that isn't necessarily part of it. And it would be nice to have like just a little offhanded comment or something.
But maybe, like with the comment saying, like, I think that could be, again, part of the arc, and maybe I'm just being impatient where it's like, no, the ending is that maybe with Ezra too, he can show her, because he's probably had his own development of like, look, you don't have to be literally part of anything. Like, we're also, we're just individuals that through all the trauma they've faced, like, it can be something like that. I don't know what Dave's thinking, but that's where my sort of instinct would go of how to make a cathartic arc.
Yeah, no, I mean, George Lucas he's the guy that said like everybody's got the Force. Everybody's got different levels of the Force, of course. And
it's about the level.
It's about the end level of midichlorians in a person's body in Star Wars, and that's what Moff Gideon was trying to do in the end of the Mandalorian.
So there are ways they can do it.
But... So there are ways to get the Force even through magic, right? We've already seen it with the Night Sisters. So it's very easy to obtain it, but I feel like the way that they're going with it is like she doesn't have like a Force connection, and they're trying to spark that connection.
Right. And like, because I agree with everything, because it's like it's with any sort of metaphysical belief, like the idea that, the transcendent is like within all life. Like there is a life force that is the living force. I mean, literally that's what it's called. And like the midichlorians are sort of like it's almost like an observational thing, because they don't cause it. They just like flock to where the essence is stronger. So they use it to measure. Yeah. It's like a medical thing. And that's why I never understood why people hated the idea, because it's like, no, it's just like it's just lore of like how they think about it.
I agree.
So I think that, again, there's merit, and it's true that everyone has the Force, but, it's the obfuscation of, like, again, there's inherent power levels, but there's also, like, the discipline within a warrior cult, which is what the Jedi and Sith are.
Yeah.
They're warrior cults. So it's like, it's both. And again, with Sabine, it's like, especially what you said, Nick, like, it has to at least be alluded to have a narrative logic.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no,
We've seen her wield a lightsaber pretty well.
Sure, and
trained by a lot of
people
Jedi.
can do it.
I think
You see Jake Jarman do it.
if anyone's going to be able to do it, it's Ahsoka that's going to unlock Sabine's powers. But I think she's in the best case scenario in the galaxy. Think about it.
Sure.
Like she's got the best master case scenario. So,
do you think it'll be Ahsoka or do you think it'll be Baylan?
It could be Baylan. It could be one of those things like poetry it rhymes. Like Sabine's the fallen apprentice, and then Jason's the one that rises up, and then Ezra can bring her back to the light, and then.
But then just because his name is Jason, I don't know if y'all are familiar with Legends.
Yeah.
But does he become kind of Jason Solo-esque? Does he become evil?
Well, we already have Jason Solo, but
kind of.
Ben, yeah.
I don't know. I mean, is it the same spelling as actual Jason?
It is.
C-E-N. Oh, okay,
Yep.
okay.
Yeah.
That's cool.
I don't know if it's just a nod or
though.
not, but if it is a nod, then
I'll take it.
I think it's a fun nod. Yeah,
I think these are a lot of great theories going around. We've also theorized that Starkiller was going to show up.
That's true,
bro.
He still could.
Did he tell you about what I speculated about? Where like
what did you say, Brad?
Well, if they're gonna go with, we're kind of retconning the sequels to make them actually make sense, but like he could. The way that immediately popped in my head is that he should have been a Palpatine clone like Snoke, but this is one that actually like succeeded. But then the plot hook would be, how did he like get out, or like what's going on?
Well,
why is he there?
Okay.
I mean, that's for me, that seemed a way to make sense, or he's with maybe a Gideon product or something.
Well, what could be the fun thing is that they did this back in Rise of Skywalker.
That was the plan with Matt Smith, right?
Well,
I
believe
yeah.
Yeah.
Was it?
Right. I think that was the original plan. I would have liked the idea of that's where you get
no way. It's like
where you get Rey's father, who of course is a clone of Palpatine.
Yeah.
It would have been cool if that was
Starkiller.
Starkiller. I don't know why I'm blanking. Oh, Sam Witwer. If he played him,
whoa,
and then we could have went to this moment in time where he was bad, but then he came to the light in some aspect.
That requires some forethought, though.
That requires forethought and
which they don't have, or they didn't have until current events.
Yeah.
It's a great time to be a Star Wars fan right now because
of
these theories could happen. All of these, Dave Filoni's gonna take it in the right direction, and I know we're gonna be satisfied by the end of this finale. How many more episodes do we have? We have 4 on 5.
We have
3 more episodes.
All right. 6 and 7. We only have 2. It's only 7 episodes.
It's 8 episodes.
7? Is it 8?
It's 8 episodes.
Is it 8?
Yeah.
It's 8.
I just
I'm gonna say it's 8. I'm manifesting 8.
Good. I'm hoping it's 8.
Yeah, no, it's definitely 8. I just checked. We get I just know the finale is episode 8, directed by Rick Fimiyawa.
Yes.
Who has been one of our better directors for the Mandalorian episodes.
Nice.
Bro, he was gonna make Flash.
And he was gonna make Flash, yeah.
Yeah.
He wrote a draft for it, yeah, man. And I agree. He's made some of the better episodes of the shows.
Yeah.
I'm guessing he didn't want to work on the Flash anymore.
They booted him.
Yeah, they booted
him.
They booted him.
A while
like
before
4 or 5
shit went down.
right?
Yeah.
Okay, so he's probably looking back at it like,
whatever. I get to work in Star Wars.
Yeah, I'm in Star Wars now. I'm good.
Yeah.
Not a part
Muschietti not pissed either though, because he's still got jobs. But
no.
Yeah.
Hey.
But again, just one of my favorite aspects of this episode is truly how Dave just gets those fine details just like to a point, like I like when Anakin ignites his lightsaber for the first time. It doesn't look like a prequel, like the prequel, like dark blue. It looks like when Luke ignites his father's lightsaber in episode 4. It's like that kind of shade of blue.
Yeah.
I like how in the Siege of Mandalore, Ahsoka is wearing her outfit from the Clone Wars arc to a T. It's just it's all That's what's great about Dave. He's on it.
He wants
He's
the continuity.
Yeah,
I'm the kind of guy who likes to look for the flaws, and it ain't there. Like I don't know if it's
Ain't
my
there.
bias. If it's biasy because I'm a Star Wars fan, but it was great. You're right. The attention to detail, especially with the transitions between timelines and Ahsoka and the Clone Wars. Yes, and the outfit was great too.
You see it no matter what. Like again, as I mentioned earlier, it's just like when we first see Anakin in like the general armor, he doesn't have the scar yet because it's at this point in time that event has not happened.
Mm-hmm. And the hair,
and the hair is perfect. It's like exactly what it looks like in the beginning of the Clone Wars, like the animated show.
When I first saw
we're different sizes, it was great.
When I first saw Anakin, go ahead.
I missed what you said, Harris.
I was just saying the montrals changed on Ahsoka just like Anakin's hair did.
Yes.
It was just simple little things. It's great.
Just little things, yeah.
I thought the lighting too was truly like the way that I don't know, like the way that he got. I think that they, thankfully, at least for the flashback scenes, now it was to play with scale, like to imply a lot of it, while they didn't have to show that much. But I think it also lended itself to like the ethereal thing with memory, where like it's kind of like specific, because like your periphery becomes kind of vague when you're thinking about like the past, and even on like almost like a psychedelic sense, like the way that they were filming on the soundstage and using like the light and the fog and smoke to use like scale, but also like the mood of it. It was truly, truly beautiful. And I like how, again, it was more like practical filmmaking rather than even utilizing the digital backgrounds, which I think are very good. You can just clearly tell that was on a huge soundstage, and I really respect that.
It's nice. It almost felt, psychedelic in a sense, but the other thing that came to mind was like, why am I blanking? Scrooge, when he goes back into the future or the past or something kind of like that. It's that kind of just ethereal, like you said. And
yes.
It's gorgeous. It's
the practical nature is what I really appreciated.
Right. And I just think like this is one of like you can tell this is one of like one of the episodes for Disney Plus that seems to have some of the biggest budget put into it too. Like everything looks perfect in it. Like the ghost itself, I just know it's like cruising like right against the water. Basically, I'm like that. Like some of those shots are movie quality shots.
Oh, and the whales too.
Oh
my gosh!
Yeah. We were watching a movie and a TV show. That's what I loved about it.
I'm still pissed that they weren't showing it in St. Louis or LA, because if it
not in LA.
No, it wasn't in freaking LA or New York.
Where Lucasfilm like is?
I don't.
That's strange, man. That's strange.
I don't know. It makes no sense. I just want to see some freaking Purgle on the big screen. My stoned happy ass would be twice as happy right then and there. I just talk about some psychedelic stuff. Them whales. Come on, I'm trying to
remind me of Avatar,
right now.
honestly.
Oh yeah.
I'm just glad that we finally got some live action Purgle.
Yeah, not just vague wide shots. Those fuckers were close.
It felt super Avatar, just like you just said. Like the second the giant Purgle came out, it felt like James Cameron, like the big freaking motherships popping out the cloud for a second. But it's just a beautiful giant space whale this time. Just gorgeous. Real quick, Sci-Fi is asking, do you think the same argument for Star Trek is expectable, that it's a different universe timeline?
I've thought about that. The retconning possibilities.
I think Dave
I think that Star Wars, the benefit of it is there is no multiverse shit in reality. Like I think like in the metaphysical world between worlds, like they can. I don't know. But you know what I'm saying? Like, I think Star Wars benefits from not touching any sort of timeline thing, multiverse, blah, blah, blah.
Time travel.
Yeah, time travel. I think it can be observed, and probably that's the farthest I would go with like the Force's like abilities.
Well, like I think the world between worlds is the perfect way to handle it.
Yeah.
But not go too far to the extreme like what Marvel or DC have done and Star Trek obviously has done.
Because it appears you can like revisit moments as though they're memories, but you're not affecting them.
Right.
Yeah, Yeah, no, I'm with you. I feel like it's more like the concept like time is not linear. Like it does happen all at once, and the world between worlds is just kind of like where that happens, and it is like that observable place. And of course, I guess there's got to be something with the Force Ghost to go on with it. We're not entirely sure.
That was something I wanted to bring up because we were talking about that of like, was that Anakin or was that Anakin in her mind? Because Anakin has transcended. Like he is in the realm of like, he's like in heaven. Like he's with the other Force ghosts. So I feel, and there's no evil in him.
I think in that moment, it took me back to episode Empire Strikes Back. I'm trying to remember chronologically. That's not episode 5. And when he's going through the cave and he's fighting Darth Vader and he beats him and it's himself. It's kind of the same concept. It could be him. It could just be like something to test him and test his training, right?
Yeah.
I choose to believe that it's him, but you're right. He could just be in heaven, but we're talking about the most powerful Jedi, the most powerful guy who connected to the Force, as opposed to Yoda. I think he could just come back just as easily as Yoda could.
So true. My only point that made me question that, let me explain it and see if you agree or not, is only because it seems as though the dark side became present, and I think after he's transcended and like left, he became like good again. Like he left all of that behind. Would it be a character problem if can he access that? Because I feel like, has he been absolved, or can you still tap into the darkness? I don't know, because I don't, you know what I mean? Like, give me your thoughts. I it's kind of where my thoughts ended, and I was unsure.
Well, he's more powerful than we can possibly imagine.
That's true.
So it's like
that is
as a training exercise potentially, but not go full dark side. At this point, it's
I don't know.
So
my biggest question to add on is like that thought that you just had, Brad, essentially adds on to my thought is how could he use a lightsaber in there? How can a Force Ghost use a lightsaber as well? Right. So. Of course,
it happens in the Lego games. Just know that now.
Oh, that's the Lego canon. I wouldn't mind it, honestly.
It's how I beat every level with the Lego Force Ghost.
Exactly.
Like, press A and build it in the corner. Build something,
Try and stop me.
If he's able to use the lightsaber like that, if he's able to like tap into the dark side and do this other kind of stuff, it didn't seem like it, so it's not necessarily debunked or whatever, but I do like the idea that it is the sun from the Mortis arc. Yeah. Is that more likely? Because I watched these things with subtitles on just because I'm a crackhead.
Yeah, we did.
It said celestial music while he was there. Like, that was the caption, like celestial music.
Yeah, it was celestial.
Do we have
we were talking where he's like, perhaps he's like
the Mortis god.
Yeah, like he's sort of absorbed as the chosen one, like he's taken their essences into himself. I don't know. It could be an interesting, almost theological thing with like a literal, like, is it like almost like a Trinity where like they're all, he's like they're all within him, but they're one, and he's like assimilated the essences into one thing.
Ooh, wait a second. Are you saying
as the balance of the Force itself, like embodied in a being, and like God?
I was about to say, so is Anakin? I mean, obviously, it's in Star Wars.
He's the chosen one. That means Messiah.
It's a good theory, but I don't think Anakin can slaughter a bunch of kids and just be dubbed God.
Oh, but God slaughters people all the time in any kind of religion.
Okay. But he destroyed the ultimate darkness, though, which was a being trying to transcend death, so and death is a part of the Force. So it's like. He defeated the ultimate darkness.
Just for I guess.
I'm not ruling it out. I think if we see more.
This is just what goes on as I'm watching. Could it mean this? Could he draw on this? I don't know.
Never say no to a theory until it's on the big screen and disproven. And I have a lot of theories that have been disproven, just FYI. So I can be like, man, we're gonna see Star Killer, and then we get more Jar Jar. Like,
we get smoke falling out of the guy's
We get Darth Jar Jar.
Hey, I'm in for Darth Jar Jar. I don't mind the idea.
That's another out of left field kind of theory that's in the back of my mind.
So what do you guys think? What do you guys think are the odds of us seeing Force Ghost Anakin by the end of this series?
High.
I think very high.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Especially if this is not Anakin.
The reason I think this was Anakin was that I think it was all a lesson to be shown to Ahsoka because he is her master, and then he even says there when she takes his lightsaber and his eyes shift from yellow back to normal, he's like, "There's hope for you." Yeah.
Whoa.
So I see it all as a lesson for her,
dude.
Yeah.
But think about it.
To live.
But think about it. That's what Luke did in the throne room. Is he tossed the lightsaber away? He refused to fight, and Anakin's like, "Oh shit, you got what my son got."
Yes, and she did the same thing. Because
The instinct.
There was hope for Anakin. There's hope for her.
I do agree that was Anakin, just because of my opinion. Just because I think.
Well, now I've kind of gone back to probably was part of him.
He's the only one who could get a rise out of Ahsoka that much to see the yellow out of hers. Did you see a hint of yellow from her?
Yeah, on the reflection, it was great.
If it was a reflection or from her, I don't know. I think he's the only person who can actually get that kind of anger from her, to come out.
So caveat, just to lean back into it possibly being the son. Ahsoka literally is the daughter. Like, her life is saved by Morai the Owl. Mm-hmm. So would the son also be able to get a rise out of his sister? Would he also try to be teaching his sister a lesson to make sure that she can protect the people that she wants to protect? I mean, he does have he's not necessarily a good guy, but he is responsible for Celestials. He did want to take her out, but now that she survived in a way and her father's gone, they are kind of the only two.
If we're talking about
that's the balance.
Yeah. If we're talking about the balance, if we're talking about that actually being Anakin, then it was the daughter fighting the father, and we haven't seen the son yet. That's what I believe. But I really hope to see Starkiller.
The son could be Luke.
Yeah. So
because in a symbolic sense, Ahsoka's like the child he didn't have.
Right.
Does that almost make like Ahsoka the Holy Ghost in a way? Is that making her Gandalf the Holy Ghost in a way?
Well, she's wearing white robes now.
Right. Yeah.
I honestly thought of Gandalf. I thought of Gandalf too, dude.
Yeah, she
I
back.
love seeing that.
She fell and then she read things. I'm like, you got that from Lord of the Rings. You got that from Two Towers.
Like, I'm waiting for the staff from the end of Rebels. I know that it's
and then it's full Gandalf.
I want the staff. Desperately want the staff. Is she gonna find it? She could find the staff in the Beyond or wherever. Like,
could be.
Look, she's a magical wizard wearing white. Okay, come on.
Come on.
Oh, look, here, real
come
quick.
On.
See, I'm pretty sure her eyes did change. I think I saw that as well.
Yeah, I agree with you, Sci-Fi. Got to rewatch. No doubt in my mind.
That was a great scene.
Her tapping on the window. It feels like that felt like Star Wars to me. And Ahsoka's like more. She's lighting up too after this moment in the world between worlds, which I really like. She's starting to be more hopeful again, and that what is Star Wars but hope?
Mm-hmm.
Well, because it's totally against every Ahsoka characterization that we've ever seen her for the first 3 episodes. She's just standing around like this and barely talking. She's stoic to a degree, but she's not like Jon Snow, just her looking over a snow cliff. You know,
I've got one facial expression.
Like, come on, it's Rosario Dawson.
Yeah,
I don't remember who I saw compare it to it, but they were like, Rosario Dawson has been doing a better Ahsoka as the night nurse in like Netflix shows than she was in the first 3 episodes. That makes total sense. But the first episode 4 and 5, great. 4 and 5 have been great.
Well, again, no matter what, this, as I said before in a past stream, it's this is like 6 years or so after Return of the Jedi, and then even then, that's 4 years since we last saw her in Rebels. So that's a lot of time that has passed. So like she could definitely have gotten more hardened, and going through this whole process is bringing her closer to becoming the Jedi that she to her coming back after she left the Order, going through this whole character journey to have it be fulfilled by getting to this beyond world and taking on Thrawn and being connected with Luke and Anakin through the Force. She'll be one of those to lead the new Jedi. And that's where I think we're heading towards.
Yeah. Speaking of that, if I can jump off of that, and you guys can maybe help me with the timeline, has she already talked to Luke and like the Grogu stuff has already happened?
I believe this has happened. Yes.
I think so.
I think.
Then why the fuck hasn't she called him up?
That's what I'm saying. That's the only confusing.
That's the only plot hole here.
Yeah,
I think it's all gonna come to a movie.
well, yeah.
Well, there's all true.
I know they're gonna
Because,
do the
dude, at that point, it's like, hey, I just talked to your dad. Like, dude, you gotta help.
Yeah, it's getting big time here, pal.
I think the only time, I mean, no, that's a lie. They could show up in Ahsoka, but I don't think it's gonna happen.
Like Luke, you came to Grogu's help. You want to come to my help now?
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, because Luke's not necessarily doing his whole thing.
It would
just
be
yet
nice
for Last
to
Jedi, so
connect
he
the
needs to be doing it.
original. It would be nice to connect the original trilogy to Rebels, and to
Right.
have Luke actually show. I mean, we've gotten Leia, we've gotten Han, right? Oh,
We got that Leia name drop in this
we
one,
got
so
C-3PO and R2-D2 in Rebels. I'm talking about all the original like characters in Rebels. Obi-Wan.
Oh yeah.
We didn't
Lando
get. We
in a
didn't see
couple
Luke.
episodes.
Yeah, Lando. Yeah, we didn't
Luke,
get Luke.
Luke is seen from afar.
It was seen from afar.
Yeah.
But it would be nice to have him enter and finally be in Rebels. And
I mean, it's all gonna come to the point of we're gonna see Han, Luke, and Leia on screen together again in time. It's just gonna happen. Bound to happen.
Please.
Again, they mentioned Senator Organa.
Senator
Yes,
Organa, yeah, they did.
So I mean, they're technically around. They did get a Skywalker.
Oh, they're around. They're big parts to play in this new
Of
world.
course, but like they were. We did technically have a Skywalker name dropped in the episode. I guess they are assisting them in that sense by covering for them at the moment.
Oh,
I
with
guess
Leia covering for her?
That's what Hera was saying.
They're gonna need Senator Organa's testimony to keep her, command, right?
Yeah.
Right.
That's
And
what it was. Yeah.
we could see that scene because Hera's not going to this new galaxy. She's probably going to Coruscant
Dude,
without Ahsoka's word to back her up.
Well, what if that's where we go, hey, maybe I should call Luke?
Yeah, that if we see Leia, there's a good chance that's how we get a connection to Luke.
Just real quick on that thought, do they get somebody like Max Lloyd-Jones, like they got just somebody that looked generally decent, and then have Mark Hamill do the same thing, or do they get Billy Lord, her daughter, to do it, and then?
I mean, that's just the question, But I mean, I think what they did with the Book of Boba Fett episode was, I thought, pretty stellar. So
yeah, it looks amazing.
Yeah.
And I have always thrown this out there. I think with Han, you just got to get Alden back.
I agree.
I totally agree. 1,000%.
He is phenomenal. He's got to come back, dude.
Yeah, I love all
So
of them.
freaking good.
He's got to be. You have him there doing nothing. They could have been making a whole trilogy or something by now. You got to bring him back.
They had a plan for that. The one plan they did have for a trilogy was the one that they didn't enact because they didn't make money because they screwed up by not planning out a trilogy.
I love that movie.
It's
I
actually
just
good.
Maybe we just have a Han and Luke spinoff. Just I don't know. Get Chewie in there too. Just a guy.
Dude, yeah.
Why not?
Just get the guy that played Chewie the whole time for these movies. Yeah, just get them all back.
Honestly, I think the best place to do that is in the Lando series. Just make it like,
oh yeah,
you don't need him every single episode, but you could have him half the season, 3/4 of the season. You could have different kind of things come up and just make it make sense in like a simple but a fun, still jovial kind of way, and not be so important for like the stakes of something necessarily. It can still be Lando's show, but we still have them.
Well, the focus should be the relationships in that movie.
Yeah.
Like that, you have to like. It's about like the purpose, and I think for a show like that, yeah, we don't have to have the galactic stakes don't matter at that point. You need the foundation of. We need to earn the moment of Empire where it's like, hey, wait a second, like we gotta have those like just the absolute like homies.
You need
we
that.
Gotta build that brotherhood.
Mm.
But they still, give each other shit, and it's still funny. But like,
even that could end with it opening up the doors for another or a solo movie, even if it's a Disney Plus original movie.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Which at this point,
spin-off. But yeah, I think the potential of all these, like the talent, to where we don't have to do the hack job, like full CGI, like models. The potential's there.
I get it for Carrie.
I'm
fine with what they did with Luke, but I mean, again, I know Harris, you're a big supporter of just getting Sebastian Stan to do it.
You knew my next question was: do we just get Sebastian Stan in this thing? Like, come on!
I forgot about that, dude. Oh man!
They've talked about it.
I don't see why not either.
Yeah, you know,
Like, when
I was
those
I donated
characters-
blood today, and they let you watch movies while you're sitting there donating blood and stuff. And one of the movies I watched was Hot Tub Time Machine, and young Sebastian Stan's in that. I'm just it's Luke Skywalker. It's just Luke
Yeah,
Skywalker.
I
It's
agree.
douchebag Luke Skywalker walking around like it's perfect.
Yeah.
It's perfect.
Wow. I think well, in that case, dude, imagine you have
Donald
him,
Glover.
Donald Glover,
Alden.
Alden Ehrenreich.
Yeah.
And you can have Billy Lord play Leia. Like I'm.
You might as freaking well at that point, you know.
Yeah.
They have a whole new cast of stars playing an old cast of stars, and it's like still respectful in its own way because Mark
you
Hamill
still
already
get that-
gave Sebastian Stan the blessing. So
Yes, and you
That's
get
true.
that human element still instead of it all just being CGI on.
I can
faces.
just imagine a lookalike of Harrison Ford asking Harrison Ford to play his character, and Harrison Ford goes like, "I don't care."
Oh, absolutely.
Just like off, just something like that. Just and then,
it'd be
all right,
perfect.
cool. I'll go. Oh, cool.
I'm gonna die and I'll haunt you. That's what you would say, something like that.
He'll be like, "I'm gonna play the character. I'm gonna go back and play him."
It's still me, son.
Mhm.
His
I
weird
am
voice,
him.
like his real quiet voice. Yeah, I'm him. I'm literally.
I am him. All shows in the crossover movie. Okay.
Yeah. I mean, that's what's already announced on the slate. Like,
But will they
and
end?
I don't know if it'll be like. I mean, the first movie that comes out again. I think we're gonna get Ahsoka season 2 before that, and then we'll get a Mando season 4, and then we'll get the movie. And that movie.
You really think a whole nother Ahsoka show?
Yes.
I'm thinking this season is going to negate a second season. I don't know if that screwed them at the end of the day or not, but I'm pretty sure it's going to like the way this one's going to end is just going to have to. It's going to necessitate more.
So one or two things are going to happen, and I think it's guaranteed. Either a movie's going to happen right after this, or a second season. Right, a second season of Ahsoka. To clarify, yeah, it's going to happen.
The only thing we have correlating are Skeleton Crew and next Mando season, right?
Yes. As of right now, it's the only thing set in stone currently.
Or
But
Boba
guys,
Fett.
we got to head out of here. This was obviously a blast.
Yeah, brother.
Amazing episode. Can't wait for more.
It's a pleasure to
Yeah.
talk to you guys. Thanks for coming,
Always.
man. I'll see you guys next week.
But
Yeah,
before
I'll
y'all head out-
be there. All right,
Yes,
hell yeah.
sir. Before y'all head out, give people your socials just for the sake of where to follow y'all, all that good kind of stuff.
We can post it in the chat.
And that's always
Potentially.
good, right? And do y'all have any final thoughts? What do you expect before next week? Before y'all head out?
Okay. We'll put it in the comments for sure, our tags, just to
Beautiful.
share it sandstone, yeah.
Well, I think for next, I think we got high potential for Leia. I really am interested to see if we get just a further development of like the post-imperial politics of the galaxy. And then of course I want the metaphysical shit. I want to see what's going on in the other galaxy, and kind of a way far off thing. I hope to God we get the first introduction and allusions to the Yuzan Vong.
Yes.
Do you think it'll be Yuzan Vong or Grisk? Or the Grist?
I think again, if they were smart, they could connect this all the way to the trilogy that will feature Rey, and it's like the new threat. What else is there to do? It's the Vong.
Yes.
Mhm.
And that's my thought.
I agree.
All right.
All right, guys. Hey, we'll
All right.
catch y'all
Yeah.
next week.
Okay.
All
See y'all.
brother. Peace, bros.
Later.
Yeah.
Booyah.
Well, any closing thoughts, Harris? What do you expect to see next? You
Well,
expect to see-
I started thinking about that. Another thing, I'm not disappointed in this episode at all, and I'm just nitpicking
not
just
at
because I
all.
love it so much, and I'm just
Absolutely.
thinking in a whole bunch of different ways. But
So
I want to see Sabine.
definitely we're gonna see Sabine. We got to find out what happens next.
Yes.
Majority of our characters are going to the new galaxy, so I guaranteed we're gonna see some more Sabine and Balin. There's another thing I wanted to talk about. We never got to it, but she remembers Balin as one of the Jedi who left the Order. Is that to be clear when she's talking to Anakin? Because she.
No,
Right.
she just remembered that she got pushed off the cliff by Balin, I think.
Oh, that's what that was. Okay.
Because he was like, do you know where you? I guess
Where
kind
you
of like
are.
you have your bearings.
It's like,
kind
do you know where you are? Are you good? Oh, okay.
Hmm.
Because I thought they were going to talk about him a little more, like where he came from, right? Don't you
It
think
would have been a
like
good time to
Anakin
do
would
that.
have? Or I thought we were just. I'm happy Hayden Christensen came back, played Anakin, but
Very.
I feel like we could have had more dialogue from him in that moment about just context, really, Balin, or maybe even in the heat of moment when Ahsoka starts talking to Anakin about all the stuff he's done,
Yeah.
so to speak, with the power that you have. It's one of death, why'd you do it? Kind of thing. I mean, I know she knows why, but like,
Yeah.
I feel like we're gonna have a little moment right there with Hayden, like, just to be like, I did it for love, Just
I would have liked a little more right there. I'm with you.
I
That
think
just felt
it would have pulled
a
on my
little
heartstrings
dialed
a
back.
bit,
Yeah.
like it did in Obi-Wan when you saw the cutoff part. I feel like we could have had a good moment right there where he's hurting a little bit, but like,
And as much as it hurts to see Hayden hurt, we like to see Hayden hurt because he hurts so good. He
no,
hurts
but
so good.
he's got a charming smile and great hair in that episode, but I want you to cry one more time, please.
I want you to be emotionally devastated, Anakin.
No, he was great. And I'm just being greedy at this point, but I
Well,
can't wait to.
I'm
I
kinda
hope we
with
see
you
him
for
later.
sure.
No,
Yeah,
I hope we see him later. Well,
I'm fingers crossed that it is the sun, just because just like I like the celestial aspect of stuff,
yes.
and that because it was the sun, we get to see Hayden as an actual Force ghost later, if that makes sense. That's my hope. No thoughts, no theories.
There
no
are always
expectations.
two sides to every Star Wars fan base, and they are never happy.
No.
There will always be two different opinions about Star Wars.
But
Well,
thankfully, Dave's there to make us happier.
Yes, I'm glad to be a part of these, man. But thanks for having me again. I'm gonna
fun.
get going, but
All right,
thank
bro.
you so much. I'm glad to be here, and I'll see you next week. Okay.
Yes, sir. I might chill here just for a little bit.
Talk.
Go through the chat for a bit. But thank you
All
for
right.
coming.
Bye,
Bye.
everyone.
Follow Nick everywhere. Nick at Night, I believe. I just look him up on Instagram or TikTok. He'll be there. I promise. Sabine and Shen become friends, and Shen shifts to the light. I would like to see that. I like the idea a lot, but I'm thinking that might just be a little. I know it's like poetry; it rhymes, and these things happen a lot, and keep going. But I'm almost thinking she gets pushed further. I don't know. Did they have time to do reshoots after Ray Stevenson died? I guess my thought process is all if they're going to end up recasting or killing off Balin's skull. I'm not sure. But I almost feel like she's going to go that much darker if Balin's able to, if Sabine's kind of able to, or Ahsoka even is able to draw Balin back a bit. I feel like Shin might go further dark instead of going to the light. Maybe. And maybe Thrawn uses her as a pawn, or maybe not even a pawn. Maybe she is used more so as an assassin, almost like Maul was. And then we know what Maul becomes. Maul becomes so much more than everyone thought he ever would be. So maybe she becomes something similar. And I don't know. My Maul loving heart, I want Maul to come back. And the Night Sister magic stuff, if it does anything, why not just bring back Maul? He's what Lucas wanted for the sequel trilogy anyway. So why can't we just have that, even if it is in the Beyond world or wherever? I did like when John Campbell said Ahsoka the White, LOL. Yeah, I mean that's what Dave refers to her as. Dave's talked about that, and he said Ahsoka the Gray and Ahsoka the White. The reason he did the retcon for the beginning of Ahsoka versus the way Rebels ended was because there was still character development and growth that she needed to have. And I guess that was those 3 episodes of standing there stoically and being all pissed off. I guess she had some character regression in a couple of those years after she's been out of the World Between Worlds after she was saved. I'm not sure. But I'm glad she's Ahsoka the White now. I'm glad she has made it to her Gandalf stage. And she's not maybe reached her final evolution, but she's close, I don't know. She's just great. New Republic evasive maneuver, just fly straight. Yeah, that was awful. The fleet would be able to back the part of the story with the whales. That would sell most of the story. Yeah, honestly. I saw that the whales were just like, excuse me, pardon me, coming through, pardon me, excuse. At least they were nice. They won't end. That's what I'm thinking as well. I agree. I'm surprised the whales didn't decide to just destroy one of the ships. At least they're usually not that friendly, but I guess Ahsoka was using the Force. She was there with the Force. I do think the World Between Worlds has changed the timeline, and Rebels Ahsoka would have been killed by Vader. Not necessarily, because the floor was falling through anyway, and Vader was falling through. It just depends if she would have gotten a lightsaber up in time or not. Probably not from the looks of it, but I don't think it's. I think they're very, very, very specific about not doing that kind of stuff, and I think it bridges. It's really close. It bridges the gap. It straddles the fence. It's right next door, but I don't think they fully divert timelines or anything like that. I think this episode had the potential to do that, and instead they chose flashbacks, which is a pretty smart way of doing it. I thought it was a lot nicer to have that done that way, a lot more digestible, and I thought it was great. I really, really enjoyed that. There was another comment up here. Something about Ben Skywalker. There we are. Will Ben Skywalker be born at this point? Yes, right? Wouldn't he be like an infant or a toddler? He'd be a little younger or maybe the same age as Jason Syndulla, right? I think so. He'd probably be about the same age as Jason Syndulla, which makes me question, would Jason Syndulla be part of the new era of Jedi? Would he have died at the temple? Would Ben have slaughtered him? Or would he have been off and away and maybe turned more dark side or something like that? Or maybe he actually did get out and was able to maybe save another Jedi or 2 or 3 or 4, whoever knows, however many, whoever knows. I'm not sure, but I like just thinking about that and having those ideas in our head, especially when they showed the Siege of Mandalore. So Jason could be a Knight of Ren. Maybe that's kind of possibly, but also Kylo kills at least a good chunk of the Knights of Ren in Rise of Skywalker, so that would kind of suck if Jason died then. Hopefully, maybe if he is a Knight of Ren, that he didn't die there, and that would have allowed him to maybe lead the other Knights of Ren a little further. I'm not sure. I don't necessarily love all that. I hope Jason's kind of in the Beyond area in this excess galaxy. I'm not entirely sure. Especially when they show the Siege of Mandalore. I think Balin is a knight. You think Balin's a Knight of Ren. He does have that armor, he has that right armor for it, but I'm not sure. That's an interesting theory, though. I don't know where this next episode is going to take it. I almost feel like they're not going to show any Hera. I don't know what Hera does now. Is Hera obsolete to the series? Obviously, she still has to. Something he said last episode made you think he was a knight. Posiblemente, huh? I don't know. But I don't know where Hera feels obsolete almost, besides just literally seeing Leia. I think Nick and Brad and Schmook were right on that point, where Leia is kind of the thing that was teased. We literally did have a Skywalker name dropped to us. We kind of want to see a Skywalker after we hear the name dropped. Do we see that soon now? I'm not sure. I'm intrigued, though. I would like to say so, but I'm really not positive. I don't know. I just think that's the only way Hera's arc continues in this. Holy shit, that was amazing! Oh my god. Next week we'll have a Sabine full episode. That's what I was about to say, but I think we'll still have Ahsoka. Just maybe not a whole bunch, but it'll show like her arriving either to a different area that we're not necessarily where Sabine is yet, and she's still gonna have to like take another episode to get there or something. And then it will become Sabine's true episode, or maybe she'll be in it a little bit more than we expect her to. I'm not entirely sure. But oh my god, I don't know where Hera goes from here. I'm ecstatic to see where Ahsoka goes from here, and I want to see Sabine. I really want to see Sabine so bad. And Balin and Shin. Balin and Shin are excellent characters, and there's just I'm. Can they go to the world between worlds? I want a little backstory there too. Like, can we have some flashbacks with Ray Stevenson, please? That wouldn't be too shabby. I'd love to know how he knows Anakin, and how he knows that Anakin was Vader. Link, I'm probably not going to stay too much longer. I was just more reading chats. You want to come talk while we're gaming? I might game in like 20, 30 minutes on Starfield and MCubed. But I'm probably going to hop out of here just in a minute. But just that episode, man. Oh, dude, it was so good. Oh, it was a dope episode. So cool. At end of next week, they drop from hyperspace. Yeah. Okay, I could see that. I could see that happening. Either the beginning or the end. That if it's not at the end, it's going to be the thing that they started off with, kind of get it out of the way and then let it go. But I think the end would kind of be a poetic way of doing it and kind of show her arriving, and then that next episode can really be about getting into the thick of being in the beyond and seeing what this new galaxy is like, assessing the new threat level, because there's gonna be a new threat level and probably a multitude of new threat levels. It is mind-blowing. It's totally mind-blowing. Leia gets ousted from the Senate soon when they link her to Vader. Ooh, that's a good point too, because that does happen within, I guess, new Disney canon. So, and Legends, I believe too. Maybe, possibly, I don't know on that one. The Purgles get there first. I think Ahsoka would arrive first. Purgle will be more efficient hyperspace travelers. I agree with that actually. We'll get there first, I guess. Who else is going out there? I guess. Do you think Ahsoka's gonna beat Elsbeth and Balin and everybody? It's possible, I guess. I hope beginning and end that instead of split between Ahsoka and Hera, it's split between Sabine and Ezra. Ooh, but then it's not the Ahsoka show anymore. That's that's my biggest hesitation there. Is it just becomes not so much the Ahsoka show. But I do love the idea. I do. I've been just holding this up. I need to drink some water. I love the idea. I do. I love the idea, but it just becomes not Ahsoka. And, we're watching Ahsoka, and we just got Ahsoka the White. So I kind of want to see Ahsoka the White do some cool stuff. But I also don't want to necessarily have another spinoff show, because they could have 4 dozen spinoff shows, and I watch every single one of them. I honestly would, but I don't know. I don't have that mental bandwidth. I don't. So it would be nice to have them kind of have a little bit of their own stuff. But if we get a lack of Ahsoka in a multitude of episodes, and not that there's been a lack of Ahsoka so far, but if we get less and less Ahsoka in our own show, it will feel weird, This was the first episode of the Ahsoka. It's been more like the Sabine show till now. That it's not like we've had a lack of Ahsoka, but we've had a lack of Ahsoka actually like doing stuff. She's just been standing there with her arms crossed, looking stoic, like a Jon Snow would for a little bit. But I'm very happy to see her do some stuff. I want at least some kind of flashback with Balin's story. I really do as well. He's great. And maybe see how Shin was raised, how he either adopted Shin as a Padawan, or maybe he is her father, and see a little bit of her childhood. Where's her mother? Where's her mom? Where's her family in general, even if she's not necessarily his daughter, and she was just kind of gotten as a Padawan. If he's not a Sith, so I don't think she necessarily like had to kill her parents to become a Sith Padawan. But I want all these answers. Do we have time to cover them? Okay, real quick. I know Schmook said he looked it up. How many episodes? I keep seeing 7. I'm not sure if it is 8. I really hope it's 8. How many episodes will Ahsoka have? First thing. 8 episodes. Good. Okay, that makes me very happy. I could have sworn it was 7. Makes me very, very happy. 8. Good. Daughter of a foundling. That makes sense. That makes sense. Like Mando season 3 was the Bo-Katan show. Yeah, but it was still Din for the most part. It was like still Din through and through. Like we saw Din way more when Bo-Katan was being heavily featured than we saw Ahsoka when Sabine was being heavily featured, if that makes sense, right? And I'm very happy that Ahsoka's doing Ahsoka stuff now. It's great. So yeah, okay, that's where my brain's at. 7 weeks for the first 2 episodes dropping at once. That's right. Yeah. All right, y'all. I'm gonna get on out of here. So like, subscribe, hit that notification bell. I have this fancy little graphic for you right there. Thank y'all for doing that. Thank y'all for being here. I will be follow on Twitter, Snapchat, Instagram. All right, that same thing. Oh wait, how do I take it off? I don't like keeping it there for the entire time. Later, y'all. Yes, but come by. I'm thinking, what is it? About 8:25, 8:30 over here. I'm thinking about 9:30 maybe. We'll do a good old GCube stream. It'll be fun. We'll Starfield it up a bit. So come say howdy over there in half an hour. We'll hang out. We'll sci-fi it up a bit. Thank y'all for being here as always. I appreciate it. Later, all. Appreciate it. We shall run this intro. We shall run this outro. Adios.